Hello everybody, welcome to the Museum Peruchet in Brussels. Today I will speak a little bit about techniques, control bar, as the marionnettist says, about the device pulling the strings. So here you can see Supache, one character very famous in the legend of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, in the Chinese civilization and culture. So this character, we see that they are strings, puppets. We are going up and we see the control bar. So that's a typical control bar from Chinese culture. This puppet is coming from the south of China. This Cantonese puppets. Here, just beside is another. That's Chongku, is the famous character, a god of the puppeteers, or of the marionettists in Chinese. And we go up to see the control bar of the Chinese, and we see that this control bar is like a little bit rackets in bamboo, and there are a lot of strings that can be between 12 or 16, 28 maximum. We don't know. It depends of the ingenuity and the inventivity of the masters and the puppets. Just besides this Chinese puppet, here on an exhibition about techniques of strings puppet, we see a very common important techniques from Burma, the Myanmar tradition. That's the yoketai tabin. And we see that the control bar is a ash. It's like a ha. And we have these small puppets. We have a lot of Burmese puppets inside the collections of Peruchet, of On Museum in Brussels. Just beside, we see something else. We see a Chinese. It's an acrobat. It's a clown. It can be a trick puppet. It can be very flat, as also very high. And we see the famous the cross, the Italian cross. So that puppet is from the masters, Italian master from Torino. That's Giuseppe Concordia. Beautiful puppets. It's the end of the 19th century. We see another also pictures. We see everywhere a lot of puppets. Here, the magnificent geisha from Japan, string puppets, very rare. These puppets belong to the collection of Jacques Chesnais. And we have the chance to restore this puppet with the control bar, the classical control bar of the Japanese. We see that it's totally different of the Italian cross and the racket bamboo of China. Just beside, something more common for on theater, that's polichinelle from my father in the end of the 50s. Polichinelle, we can recognize polichinelle with the boss in the back and also in the belly, of course. And we see the techniques of first director and founder of On Theater. That's the control bar of Peruchet 1, Carlo Speder. This one is still another control bar of Peruchet. And we see a clown from the 30s. Another clown. That's with long legs and small legs. This also trick puppet from my father. It's a clown, of course. And we go to the control bar. That's still a control bar that my father, Franz Jageneau, used in the 50s before to change in the 60s the techniques, the device, and the second device that I have developed in another capsule in French version, if you are interested. Here, just beside, we see all this Italian cross. We see the vertical control bar. That's the vertical cross. And these puppets, the two puppets behind the Liège and Charlemagne and the beautiful Duchess, these puppets from Jacques Chesnais. We see that even in the second part of the 20th century, the tradition of the string puppets, of the marionettes, was with a vertical control bar. And here we see really good control bar, because here, if we go there, we see also the control bar, vertical control bar. The Chinese, we go just beside, if we are, and also the control bar. That's still with the rocket, and the pictures of other puppets and other techniques. Behind here, there was also the Rajasthanese, but also the Gombeyyata from Orissa, that's the triangle. And here is a puppet from the father of Fritz Fey Jr., the Fritz Fey Senior, the founder of the huge museum of Lübeck, and puppets from Peruchet, for example. So that's a lot of techniques about string puppets. And when we speak about string puppets, normally we also try to define the tradition of the string puppets and of the puppeteer. So if you are American, for sure you will not have a control bar from Japan, and not from China, and not from the Italian cross from Europe. So I hope this very small introduction can help people to understand better what is the difference between a string puppet and another puppet. Thank you, and see you for another explanation and another capsule.